Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Spirit Lounge podcast with me, David.
And me, Glenda.
And we are psychic mediums from both sides of the pond.
I'm in Australia.
And I'm in the UK.
And we're joining forces to discuss and talk about the world of psychics, mediumship, and all things spiritual. We might even throw some random life topics in there too.
So come with us now on our podcast journey. Let's see what's happening in the Spirit Lounge for today's episode. Well, hello listeners and welcome back to the Spirit Lounge. I'm here with the glamorous Glenda over there in Australia. Looking very glam, Glenda.
David, I got my new Shein order today.
Oh, is it Shein?
Yeah, you have Shein in Temu?
Yeah, the actual physical store is opened in Oxford Street in London.
Stop it.
Not been in it yet, but yeah.
Right, when I come over, you're taking me shopping.
What, to Shein?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I love that stuff. I'm telling you, it's so good. Look, so this is the way we start the podcast. Hello, David. Hello, listeners. Oh, my God, I'm so excited. We have Ann with us tonight. Hello, Ann. Welcome.
Oh, how are you doing, guys? This is
good.
surreal.
How are you, Anne?
I'm great. I'm nervous, but I'm good. You know, this is a learning curve, and yeah, I'm really excited to be here. So thanks for asking me.
No, not at all. Very welcome.
No, thank you for coming. And, you know, Anne, I listened to your podcast and I listened to you interviewing David and absolutely loved it. And I'm like, David, we have to have Anne on. Okay, then we have Anne on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm honored. I was surprised. I was like, what? Thank you. Yeah, I'm delighted. I feel seen.
Welcome.
I feel seen. Yeah. It's
Absolutely.
Been seen.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
And as our fairy godfather Bill Hughes says, you just don't know who's watching.
Yes, absolutely. I'm learning that one now. I am learning.
Absolutely.
And for our listeners, tonight, this is a bit of, you guys are in the morning and I'm in the nighttime. We have the UK and we have Dublin and we have Australia all together in the one house. How awesome is that?
It's really awesome. Yeah, it's really cool, isn't it? How we can connect.
It's fantastic. And for our listeners who don't know who the beautiful Ann Traynor is, oh my God, today we're diving deep. We're going to go take a journey with the lovely Ann, her beautiful energy. Ann is a healer. She has beautiful and amazing intuition and someone whose work really shines through from the heart. I can feel how awesome your energy is, and I want all the listeners to feel the love that comes through from you, Ann. Ann has opened up her own wellness centre in Dublin. Like, that is massive. Ann is a Reiki Master, psychic medium, an author of Hidden Forces. I just got goosebumps just then. And her journey of awakening and healing and guiding others home has been absolutely magical. So, Ann, welcome to Spirit Lounge. Let's get started.
Oh, thank you. What an introduction. I feel humbled. Thank you. I sounded wonderful. I sound wonderful.
You are.
You are.
Oh, thank you.
You're amazing. So, Ann, take us back. Let's go back to what started your healing journey, or where you started with healing. Like, what started for you? Like, take us through your journey.
Well, I wish I had some sort of magical story for you to have, but it wasn't. It was messy. It was, it was a breakdown. It was 2016, 2017. And
wow. Seems me.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people that's come even on my podcast is this year was a massive awakening for a lot of people. Yeah. So I just found myself in the doctor's office and sitting there crying a bumbling mess, on my trachea going, oh, I need, more painkillers. I was on a lot of medications from after the birth of my twins and my first child. I had a lot of complications. So I had years of being unwell and I was dependent on a lot of painkillers, daily painkillers, so I was so bad and so in so much pain I couldn't leave the house for a couple of years. I was really bad.
That's
I know.
good.
It wasn't good. And I just went for my regular, expecting more medication. And he was like, listen, we're going to have to hold back and we're going to have to start weaning you off. He described me as a heroin addict, because I totally depended on this, on the medication. And I was like, what? So he suggested I had surgery for a colostomy bag. And I was like, but I just could not accept that news at that time because I'd struggled. I was still young, I was 42. And I was like, I can't do this, start this new journey with this. I just couldn't do it. And that was the day that I had my first vision of, the person with the chakras, the sitting down. It's like a yoga poster. And I kept seeing that in my mind's eye, and I didn't know what it meant. I was like, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? I had a bit of a matrix moment in the doctor's office where everything literally slowed down. I could tell you everything about that moment, from the socks he was wearing. You know, it was just a moment of being in dire straits, I suppose.
Yeah.
I left the office and I was walking up the road going, oh my God, I can't do this. There's no way. And I came home and I was Googling, and little did I know I was always just manifesting it more of what needed to be done. And of course, that imagery of the chakras. And I didn't know what the colors were. I was like, I'm not going to do yoga. I associated that with yoga. And I was like, no, I'm not going to go down the yoga road. I didn't understand about holistic healing, but I had found myself in a workshop that very week. And we all went for lunch after. And I felt it was a bit of a click going on. I didn't really know anyone that well. And we all sat around this table and they were talking about chakras, Reiki, astrology, tarot, like all this stuff. They were speaking in English, but I didn't understand what they meant. But I just looked around the table and I just knew every single one that was talking, they seemed happy, they were inspiring. And I was just sitting there just wanting to melt down into the floor. I just didn't want to be asked any questions. I didn't understand it. I felt stupid. I felt, what's this all about? And I had said to the girl beside me, what's a chakra? And the girl, the other length of the table, I don't know how she heard it, but she heard it. She goes, Anne doesn't know what a chakra is. And everybody started laughing. And I was like, what the frick?
Biatch.
What the hell? So she sat there and she was like, oh, we've got these energies and centers, and you just got to lift yourself up and be positive and be happy. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell? So it turns out every single person around the table was a Reiki master. And I was like, what's Reiki? Then I went to my first Reiki treatment, say within the 2 weeks, and I didn't know what it was. I went in and the lady says, did you have Reiki before? And I was like, no. And she said, I'll go and get you a glass of water, lie up on the plinth. And I was like, do I take my top off? I didn't know. I thought it was a massage. I didn't know anything because I didn't ask any questions. So she's like, no, leave all your clothes on and just get up on the plinth and I'll be back in a minute. And I was like, okay, what's going to happen here? So I lay down on the bed and she came, and I swear to God, I was clueless, and just as well I was, because if I'd done a little bit of deep dive beforehand, I probably wouldn't have went. Really, I probably wouldn't have went. So I was laying there and she started talking and she had this lovely tone about her, and she started calling. Now I didn't know she was calling in at the time, the Reiki Ascended Masters, archangels, and I was there going, what? And then she said to me, you can invite in anybody you wish to be with you at this time. And I was like, sorry, what do you mean? Like, what do I call it out loud? What do I say? I still didn't even know what she meant. And then I got it and I went, oh, my dad. So I just sent a thought out for my dad to be there. And my dad had been well past, at this stage. And I kid you not, I think I just grieved for the first time. I just lay there and I just went, oh my God, I could smell him. I didn't even know my dad had a smell, you know? I
Yeah.
could smell him. I could, I felt a weight on my shoulder where she wasn't at my shoulder. And it was just weird. And then my hands just lifted up and I start doing, it was very symmetrical. I couldn't even do it now if I tried. My hands start going through my whole body, and I was like, oh my God, what's happening? And she said, it's okay, just work with it. Never explained anything, and I was just roaring crying. But I didn't know. I was actually opening up channels around myself, looking back. And
Yeah.
she said to me when I was leaving, she says, I'm teaching Reiki next weekend. I really feel that you should be on this course. And I said, yeah, you just want, oh, sorry about that. The camera does that from time to time. She said, yeah, I just thought then, sorry, that it was about money. Because in your human, you're like, yeah, she's just trying to
Yeah.
sell me something here, And I went the following weekend. On the Saturday, I was sitting there going, what am I after signing up for? There was a lot of talk about Jesus. And I was like, oh my God, if I signed up to a cult, I'm not religious. And I was like, ooh, I wasn't going to show up on the Sunday, but then I needed more attunements. And I was like, oh, I'll have to show up. So I did. We had an audio to listen to. I had 21 days of self-healing, self-love, and I swear to God, I never looked back. But I have to say, those 21 days were dire. I was on the floor, literally on my knees in the kitchen, crying, going, what the hell? And then I leaned into the group about 11, 12 days in, and there was nothing happening within this group, that you're put into. And I felt even stupid going into it. And I said, is everybody okay? Like I think I'm having a nervous breakdown. And then of course all the messages start flooding in from the rest of the students. And I was like, wow, this is great. I have support because I couldn't talk to anybody about
Yeah.
what I was doing. I couldn't talk to anybody what I was feeling. Everything just hit me like a freight train. But
Yeah.
whatever it was about the chakras, I did the work. I educated myself. I followed through, true Capricorn to my style, I followed through. I committed to the assignment and I was starting to feel good, but it was kind of like back the fuck away from me, everybody, because I need to do this for me. And it was literally energetically, that's what it was like. Back off, everybody. And I kind of went into this hermit mode. I start journaling, I start learning about the chakras, I start revisiting. I was doing a shitload of meditation, like ridiculous amount of meditation, but my head was just like full of the negative narrative, and I just so desperately wanted to change. And that's how it
Hats
went.
off.
Oh,
Wow.
Hats off to you.
and I will mention that I had such a belief in myself in doing this that I didn't have to have the surgery. I reversed everything. I weaned myself off all the drugs. And my doctor has come to me for treatments, and he's just like, this is amazing. He thinks it's amazing. He's like my number one fan in all of this, and it all started in his office, me just crying and having that meltdown with life, and he's become a good friend, a confidant as well, since then.
And
Amazing.
when
Yeah.
sometimes it gets to that point in your life that you need to do this, you need to hit rock bottom, you need to have no way out other than on that floor crying, not knowing what's next to
Yeah.
change your life around. Because, I mean, look at what you had. What other options did you have? Surgery and more medication. And
Yeah.
you've changed that around. You've invited spirit in. You've changed your life, your thoughts, the way that you look at things and the way you look at life now. And you're helping others. How
Yeah. And
inspirational is that?
oh, thank you, Glenda. And I love that. I've always kind of had that within me of helping others, the underdog, come on, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And it was just a matter of stepping into that teacher energy, and I feel like I've always been a teacher. There's just something there. It just came, I'm not going to say it came naturally. I had to do a lot of work with my throat and speaking up. I would have done one-to-ones my whole life if I could. And it was like, no. And then I had a lot of interest in, when are you going to do your first weekend? I was absolutely bricking it. I did it. I cried, I laughed, they went through everything with me and I was like, oh my God, this is so special. And then from there, it's just like the students show up, I show up. If somebody's ready, I'm ready to teach, and I do love it. I'm very passionate about it.
Can I just say, people, for people listening as well, because me and Glenn have this thing about manifesting, or at least I have this thing about
Yeah, I heard you.
But that is a prime example of what manifesting, in my opinion, is or should be. Anne wasn't sitting on her ass feeling sorry for herself, thinking, "Oh, somebody changed something." No, she put the work in, as she described, worked on herself, did the research, learnt this, educated herself, learnt that. So that for me is what manifesting is, people. It's what Anne has just described. Putting the work in, making those steps forward by putting in the effort, not just sitting back hoping something's going to change. It's actually doing the work to get there. So I just want to point out, because I thought that was typically what I would expect from to manifest something in your life, right? It's not about, as I said the last time, sitting there humming, listening to meditation music, writing in a journal and hoping something happens. It's not that, is it at all?
Hard work.
It is. And I don't think, I think it's starting to come out now, about the difficulties it is through healing. And I have people that would sign up for the Reiki one, and there's so many days in. And I'll never, I think this is what keeps me in it, is I'll never forget where I was. I'll never forget that crossroad. I will never forget that me, in that instance. And I will always see that reflection in every single one of the students showing up. And I'll talk them through it. I'll be their support system for that 21 days. I'm their greatest cheerleader. And I'm like, you can do it. Now, some people they'll go, listen, it was too much for them. And that's okay. But you showed up. You've educated yourself about something. It's just a tool. It's a tool for your well-being. And when you have an awareness, a spiritual awareness, it triggers energetic transformation. Absolutely. So that's what happened for me.
So as you traveled along, did you notice your connection to spirit growing stronger? Like, talk us through some of the things that you experienced with connection with spirit.
So spirit has always been there. And I've had some moments, even from a very young child, that I actually forgot about. And it was only through and after the Reiki, me doing the meditations, that I was brought back and reminded of times when, and I'm like, oh my God. Because I used to dream all the time of airplanes, low flying airplanes, and in one airplane they'd be all black and white and they'd be waving, they'd be so low, they'd be waving at me, and I'm like, hey, and there'd be another plane over there and I'd be like, hey, and some of them be in color in that plane, some of them be dark origin in another plane, and I'm like, what the hell? And during the meditations, like, they were just showing me different planes of existence, but my little 7-year-old mind or whatever was just like, I keep dreaming of planes, but seeing an aeroplane that was my association, was the plane. So they started to come back to me and they started to remind me of years ago, and from a very young age, I would astral travel. But I thought everybody was doing that. So I'd be in my parents' home, in my home, family home, and I would want to be in my grandmother's home. And I'd be going to bed and I would visualize myself getting up out of my body, literally going through the roof of the house and flying, literally flying the whole process of going through the laneway, taking me the 15 minutes to get there and going down her roof into her bedroom and just lying beside her. And I knew it was time then to wake up, and I'd get up and I'd be just like this blob. I can't explain it. It was just this blob. And I'd travel all the way back home. And I remember I used to look at myself so tiny in my own bed before I even woke up. And I'd be looking down at myself, oh my God, you look so small, you look so vulnerable. And I was. And that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. But, that was astral traveling. I just thought it was dreaming, and everybody did that. If you wanted to be somewhere, you could do that. So that was pretty normal to me. And then when I found out after Reiki, astral traveling, I was like, oh my God, I was doing it. So there's lots of things. I've had moments of despair throughout my life, at bad times. And I remember at one stage, like a full apparition of a person walking. I could hear the footsteps walking along the bed, and I could see it through the curtain. It was like, a heat wave. And the footstep, I knew it was a woman, and I was lying there going, blinking the eyes, rubbing my eyes. I was crying, and I was like, go away, you're scaring me. But she stayed there the whole night, but I was in a really bad place mentally. So I've had signs all along. They were always there, and I just got those little reminders after Reiki and the meditation, and I was like, oh, okay. But I've had some pretty amazing moments with them,
Yeah.
lost.
Wow.
And it's only when you're on your knees, I think, that they will, and you're giving up, the signs will be so tangible nearly to say, no, don't give up, keep going. But I think you need to not get yourself, you will find yourself in those spaces. Now, I do have the breakdown still, but they're definitely not as bad as they were, for sure. And I actually enjoy them because I'm doing nothing. I'll just go, okay, I got to enjoy this. I'm going to have a rest for 2 or 3 days, and I will marinate in whatever's coming up for me and just go, okay, I'm going to trust this. And I trust it. Whereas before I
Yeah.
didn't have that. So I have this belief in myself, that no one else can touch. No one else can get that. I've really worked on that, and that's what Reiki has done for me.
Well done. What a
Thank
story. Holy.
Thank you. Thank you. We wish we could wave a wand or take a magic pill.
Yeah,
Very
that
true.
doesn't work.
I
Yeah.
wish I could describe that to people, but I'm like, no, unfortunately, it's you against you. You are the opponent here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everyone's
Yeah.
just, reflecting off something. I think the accountability was huge because I was like, oh, it was all me. It's like, shite. You have to face yourself, and you have to do the work in reframing your mindset to a more loving, caring way of being, because I believed I wasn't. I
Yeah.
genuinely believed that. And I was in that process. I never did the sitting around the kitchen table talking about this person that are just, the mammies at the school. I was at the
Mm.
coaching
Yep.
things. I never did that. It was just toxic. It just didn't feel right, but I didn't understand toxic. I didn't understand that lingo. I definitely understand it now, and I can feel it, and I didn't have the emotional awareness. I have it now, and then I can go, oh, I can connect that dot and go, oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
You understand energy now. That's why.
Yeah, it's so finite, isn't it?
Yeah. But there's so much growth in the uncomfortableness.
Mm.
And as much as it sucks, it is so good, like you said. Like you go through those days and you're just like, "Ah, I just don't even want to get out of bed today. Why did I get out of bed? It was just really heavy days. And we all go through them. We all have those weepy days, where
Yeah.
we're just emotional. But there's growth in those days. They're coming up to the surface for reasons. So with all of that, did you ever go through with your journey through Reiki,
Yeah.
did you ever stop yourself one day and go, oh my God, I have imposter syndrome, I'm not good enough, or any of that before you actually stepped out?
Yeah, I have that all the time. That's just something you have to overcome. You know, I'm in the middle of teaching masters at the moment, and I've got these three amazing students, and they're struggling with that, and I'm like, guys, I have this too. This is completely normal. You know, we've got to overcome ourselves. We got to work with that energy. It's just an energy for you to work with, for you to overcome, for you to get through. You're on the final squeeze, and the final squeeze in masters is everything comes up to the surface, and even for me teaching the masters, I always face something big beforehand, or I will nosedive beforehand. And even my husband now at this stage is like, are you teaching next weekend or something? Are you teaching this weekend? And I like, so he's picking up on it as well. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, for God's sake. So he kind of gives me that wide berth because he knows there's something going on because he's used to me now. But it's definitely getting easier to do it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to, because you're aligned, you're aligning with everything.
Practice.
You're doing the work, you're practicing, you're in that energy. So it should be falling into place. It should, as much as it is sometimes hard, and going through, the connection with spirit or mediumship, and we'll get onto the mediumship because I know that you've been delving into mediumship, but
Oh,
I still want to
yeah,
ask you a few more questions
yeah,
about
go
the
on.
Reiki. With you going, and I'm just like taking over this interview. Poor David, he's just sitting back. David, look, do you want to ask a question? I have so many questions for Anne. You go and ask one because I've just got so many
You
here.
can also carry on, 'cause people listening probably can hear me. I sound like I'm in a goldfish bowl, so I'm full of
He's still
cold.
unwell.
So I'm still a
He's
little bit
still
unwell. So
unwell.
that's why Glenda's doing a lot of
Oh,
the
okay.
talking.
You
But Anne,
love.
when it comes to your
Yeah.
teaching, and talking about teaching your
Yeah.
students, what do you think's an important quality in being that teacher? Because you hear quite a few horror stories, especially in the mediumship industry, where you hear horror stories of teachers being a certain way, or being a bit degrading to their students. What do you think is important when it comes to teaching for you?
Compassion. Compassion to meet them where they're at. It's like even somebody showing up for that one-on-one, that Reiki treatment. I can't open the door and go, "Hey, how's it going? Are you all right?" They've showed up for a reason. They're like that glass slipper that I was, and I'm going to handle them with care. I'm
Mm,
going to make sure that they either is whether it's the one-on-one, whether it's the Reiki one, that they leave inspired for change. That they sit there, and I do say to them, "You're going to have loads of little aha moments." As I'm talking, and spirit brings up conversation, and I'm like, that's obviously for somebody here in the room. It was a bit random that just came in, and then somebody would say, yeah, that was for me, and I'm like, yeah, I know. you
mm,
know uh, so it's just remembering, never forget where you were. And I don't forget anything. I'm like an elephant. I don't forget anything. So um you have to have compassion, just meet them where they're at. And sometimes it's really big emotions and they're going through grief. They don't know what to do with it. And it's something they have to live with because it's nowhere else to go except be with you. So let's embody that. Let's take one step at a time. Like I'm big into small steps, not you know, big huge ones. I'm not into them because they don't work. Then you have to go back further. So if
yeah.
you just take, it's just kind of like turning that dial slightly and allowing it to go organically with your pace.
Yeah.
Like this,
Oh my God. And what you just said is what I said to my client today. Oh,
yeah,
you've just validated that. Thank you.
synchronicity.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah, you
Wow.
just gotta, you can't rush them. It's their process. I'm not going to tell them what to do. I am going to give them options, but I know it's them facing themselves. But they have to come to that conclusion themselves. They have to do the work. There's no point. Nothing happens in not nothing happens in the weekend. It's a weekend. but it's what happens for you after that weekend. Are you going to accept the challenge? Are you going to decline the challenge? Are you ready to accept? And it's okay if you want to say no. You still have work to do around that area or that aspect of you. So I kind of explain, just if you're ready for something, stand in it. Stand in your power. I'm not like, oh, I'm so powerful, like I'm so
Mm.
wonderful. No, like be humble, don't lose that, and
Yeah.
that's really important to remind you to still be you because you're perfect the way you are. I don't want you to change. I want you to transform. And there's that kind of energy of the void between old self and new self. And that's the great rest. It's kind of like that hermit mode. And you can choose to be lonely in it or choose solitude. So which are you going to choose? It's like David, I've heard you saying this before about being nervous and just rewiring that to now I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like I was really nervous and I was like, no, I'm excited. Let's
Yeah.
flip that. Let's flip that and let's get into excitement because this is good. It's great. It's getting, my little light out there, and anyone that steps forward for healing, it's a brave move because a lot of people do say to me, because it's a journey of remembrance, you know, and people say, well, students, and I don't want to remember. And I'm like, I know, I don't want to remember either. I didn't know I could remember, to be honest. Um, but we need to go back in order to go forward. So we need to
So,
go
yeah.
back. Yeah. So
Mm.
that's the journey in going back. But you're going back into self. And of course the chakras. The chakras is like amazeballs because there's that like psychology to it as well. When I realized the chakras were connected to the elements, and I was just like, it just blew my mind. I could tell you exactly where I was. Those little matrix moments where everything slows down, where you take it all in. The chakras, different timelines, connected to different organs. You allow yourself to go there. And if you're struggling physically, say physically with your legs or your knees, your ankles, or it's root chakra stuff. We've got to go back to that root cause and find out why you're struggling physically. I was always fascinated with the anatomy of the body, always, always from a very young age. And now I know why, you know? So the chakras, I call them rooms within your psyche. And, if you want to do some deep healing and you want to go between 0 and 7 years of age, you intentionally go into that meditative state, wanting to revisit that child. And
Yeah.
yeah, they're every 7 years. They're different rooms, timelines of your life. They're your old life, old self, younger self. But they're still you, still part of you in
Yeah.
your today. But you just
It's
have
so important. And
ah,
that is so important. Like through my healings now and the regressions that I'm going to, everyone wants to have a past life regression and all that. And it's like, and it's wonderful and you get so many answers. But
yeah.
I'm understanding what you're talking about here. And I know David, he's not into all of this past life stuff. I'm still trying to educate him. I'm going to have to take him on a little bit of a journey
I
here.
get where he's coming from there. Like anyone could be
But
anything. And you're just like,
yeah, but for me, with the healings and that sort of thing, I'm focusing at the moment going in steps with people, but focusing on this lifetime right now before we
yeah,
go into regression. But we're doing regression on this lifetime. So going back, going through those timelines of a child and things that triggered you and things that caused all these root causes of why you're doing things now.
yeah,
And I feel that is so important to understand in this lifetime before we go back to the past lives. I feel like we need to understand this lifetime and this time frame
yeah,
first.
yeah,
And then that's how I'm kind of working with it, or spirit showing me,
yeah.
understand this in the now and then go back to the past ones. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like past life to me is younger self. It's past. It's past life. I do believe that healing goes beyond the grave for sure.
Oh yeah.
if you are in a situation that you cannot move forward, that you are just stuck in this weird space that you can't get out of, well, then maybe past life regression is for you because if nothing is making sense for you and you are not allowing yourself to move, yeah, I would recommend. I tried it. I've had it done.
It's good.
It's weird. I was just like, am I making this up? What the hell is
Yeah,
going on?
exactly.
It's
You're
weird.
honestly going, no, I'm making this up. No, where am I pulling this out of my ass? Like, this can't be happening.
Yeah.
But it really is the
But
real
like,
thing, and it
yeah.
makes sense.
And the book Many Lives, Many Masters, like that was an eye-opening book as well. Yeah, so I did one session of the regression, and I went back to this timeline and I was just like, what the hell? I was able to see a son from a past life. And there's a big huge story behind it. I'm not going to go into it, but I saw a son from a past life. And then there was this agreement made that I wouldn't have any sons moving forward in any lifetime. I've got girls, just girls, because of losing that son and the heartbreak of that. And I was just like grieving this child that I can even see now if I allow myself to go there, because I believe it now, it's a core memory, that I was
Yeah,
able to access in. But it's just weird. It just caused me, there was a lot of healing in it.
it
There was a lot
is.
of
Yeah.
answers in it. You know, it allowed me to move forward. But, that child, oh my God, it just breaks my heart to think that left some child there, It's just like, why
Look,
would I do that to myself?
we we've got to chat after this podcast because of what you've just said. There's too
Yeah.
many synchronicity. I can't
Okay.
even speak now. Going on with what you are saying and what has happened today. Yeah, we got to chat.
There's no coincidences, Glenda.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, I was actually questioning how far this went today because it was so intense, and you are just validating everything for
Oh
me right now. Thank you
my
very
God.
much.
Oh,
Thank you,
you're
Anne.
welcome.
Thank you, Spirit.
Yeah. Thanks,
They
Spirit.
work they work in their own mysterious ways, but here we are going off on a tangent
That's
when I
okay.
should be saying, Anne,
Yeah.
what got you inspired to open up your own wellness center? Tell us all about this.
Well, I hadn't got social media before this. Like, like seriously. Um, I just opened an account on Instagram. I had been doing friends and family. I didn't have that belief in myself, but I had do you know when you're standing there after Reiki 1 and the teacher's like, come on, you're doing it. And I'm like standing there going, what the hell? I did Reiki 2 and she's like, hey, you can practice on people. And I was like, so my sister runs a charity and she asked me to go over to Nairobi with her. And I hadn't got the money. You have to raise the money. So I said, oh, I'm going to put a tin in my room and I'm just going to put it out there to friends and family. Listen, I'm doing Reiki. I want to go to Nairobi, help my sister's charity out, blah, 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 blah. And I,
Manifesting.
yeah, and I thought I would have been happy with like, I needed like 600 or 700 euro at the time. And I had the jar and I'd walk out the room saying, listen, just, leave whatever you feel that you got from it. I kid you not, I had 2 grand in that jar after a very short time from people coming to me.
See?
Yeah, so that was for the charity. Obviously, it was donations, but that was evidence. That was my evidence to say, Anne, you're doing something really good here, you
Yeah.
know, that people
Wow.
are getting something from you. And I was kind of hoping I had, the tins that have the amount on the front of them, like the 50s or the 20s or the
Yeah.
10s. So I bought one on purpose with 20s on it, and the hope that I'd get 20 euros off people that they'd see it. So
Oh,
there was a
wow.
few 50s in there, and I was like, what? So I had faith in myself to do it, and I did it. I did
Oh
it.
my goodness. That
Wow.
is so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Yeah, it was great. And I do love it. I love the one-on-ones. I love the teaching. I love the different layers of the teaching and to see the students and their journey, you know? And I always say, listen, you don't have to stay with me. You can move to any other teacher. And I know a lot of teachers in the Reiki community don't like that. They don't like you to move, and they say that. And I'm like, you can go anywhere you want to go,
Yeah.
you know, because there's a bit of
Yeah.
that going on. I'm the one that
Ugh.
it all, you know,
Yeah.
the Reiki community, they all know me because I'd be like, here, but why this? Why that? Why can't I be authentic? Why can't I write the manual? And they're like, because you just can't. And I'm like, why not? Because you're telling me you are not God, you know? So I kind of broke a few cycles there. You know,
Good.
Hey.
I really did. And I wrote the manual, but I kept it traditional, the hand placements, a whole lot. But it's just how I teach is very unique. And the manuals, no one else has these manuals in any lineage because I've written them.
Yeah. It's yours.
It's mine. Yeah, it's mine. And you know, it's for anybody that comes to me, they have what I feel they should know at this stage during the journey. But Reiki 1 is very uniform. Like it's very uniform. It's the lineage, it's what we do. And then it kind of Reiki 2 and Reiki Masters, we kind of let's make it your own, guys. I want you to do you. Don't do me. I want you to do you. Listen to you, you know?
Yeah. I've
Wow. That's
I've
it.
I've off yeah, and I'm so glad that you did that because David and I always say if you're going to learn, we talk about mediumship. Oh no, don't be looking at me like that. We always say,
Yeah.
like, you should go out and practice with other teachers. You really should, even with
Yeah.
when we talk about mediumship, because through school, you've not got the same teacher. You go and have different teachers through your whole life. So you should have different healers as teachers, different mediums as teachers, everything like you should experience because people teach in different ways. You're going to learn different things from different people. And I think those people come from that scare tactics of, not wanting to be
Fear based.
better or there's that God complex or whatever. I just
Yeah.
think like, go and do
Lot
your
going
own
on.
thing. Go out and explore the world. Go and see what
Yeah.
it's like. I think people here, you don't have to, you don't have to do it the way that everybody else says. If you want to go and learn Reiki, hey, Anne's your woman. Get on to her, people. Like,
Yeah.
do you do it online? Can you teach online, Anne?
No, I don't do it online. And I've been asked to, but it just wasn't my gig. I like to meet people. I like that personal thing to it. I have been asked and I'm like, it just doesn't, it's just not in alignment with me. I need to meet you. I need to sit with you. The attunement is to me, it's the biggest part of it. You're just aligned and you're making that ritual with yourself and the universe, God, spirit, angels, wherever your belief system is. You're making that commitment to you. You know, it's like, do you know what it's like? And I always describe this to the students. So, like a married couple coming together and everybody's there celebrating them. And they go up the aisle and there's this ritual and there's this binding of, for better, for worse, and I'm going to be there for everything. And, it's, being the chosen one is quite difficult, but it's literally like that. But you're choosing you in that moment. You're choosing the emotion that comes up from the attunement is like off the freaking charts. And they're like, I'm sorry about this. And I'm like, don't apologize to me. This is wonderful. There's something really good happening. So I think like in Reiki 1, you're just stirring the cauldron. They're just stirring the magic within themselves. And hopefully they step forward for the level 2. Why wouldn't you keep going? You've just learned something new for you. But I try not make it too woo-woo. I can if I really wanted to. I can make it really culty if I wanted to as well, but it's just not who I am. That's
Yeah.
not who I am. But
Yeah.
I've seen the culty end of it as well, and I'm like, see ya, bye. It's not for me. Um, my air lineage is better than your lineage, and we do this in our lineage. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
if we could trace it
absolutely.
all back to Yusui, Hayashi, Takata, that's all you need to trace it all back to. But this whole air lineage and my lineage, and It's a bit Star Trekky for me, but I just want you to do you. I want you to find yourself. I want you to heal. And I'm going to cheerlead you along the way as well.
And I think learning healing is probably better
Absolutely.
in person anyway. That mediumship you
Yeah.
can train online, but I think with healing it's more that hands-on approach, I feel, which is why I
Yeah.
don't teach healing online either, because it's
I
more
don't teach it.
to be in that space.
And it's the intention of leaving your space, of, building up the energy of you. It's because we want you to move. So somebody's sitting at home going on, some people have come to me and they've done online training. And, they'd have to produce some sort of certificate to be able to step forward for different levels, to say that they've done it. And they've done it online. And when they come, say, for level 2 and we're doing, and they're just like, it's like the beginning. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I thought I did all this. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And a lot of people do say to me, I've done my level 1 and 2, but I think I want to do it with you again. And I'm like, you don't have to give me your money. You've done it already. You were meant to have those teachers. You can step into your level 3 if you want to. But if you want to give me your money, that's no problem. I'm happy with that too. But I do tell them you don't have to. I always tell them you don't have to do it, you don't have to repeat it. And I like that about me. My husband goes crazy. He's like, yeah, but Anne, it's money, it's business. And I'm like, no, Mark, it's me. He doesn't get it. I like, listen, he doesn't get it.
That's your ethics as well,
Yeah, exactly.
like,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why it's thriving for me,
yeah.
That's why it's thriving for me. That's what I think anyway, you know.
Well, you're very
Absolutely.
authentic, Anne, like you're
Thank you,
genuine and you're
Vanessa.
real. And people feel that. People get that impression of you. And I mean, I've never met you before, but my psychic senses are pretty spot on, I think. So
No, they are.
I get that.
They are.
Yeah, I get that from you. See, David knows I can pick
Thank you.
anyone. I don't even have to meet them. But Anne, can you let us in on some of the challenges you've faced?
Dun, dun, dun.
We all have them.
Yeah, I've had a few. The challenge is, being a mother was definitely a challenge. And, the identity crisis that comes with that for sure. I've been through a lot as in past self before the kids, before marrying Mark. I was involved with domestic violence. I was married before, and not a lot of people knew that or know that about me, but it was a very difficult time indeed. But you know what? I got through it. I got over it. I walked away with my life, and that's all I wanted from that.
Yeah.
And that was probably the most challenging because there was a seed planted there that I believed less than myself. So that was the seed that I had to work with. That's where all the growth came from. So it was like my greatest mistake, you know?
You gave your power away.
100%. And I think with the kids, with my children, I think the most difficult conversation I ever had to have was sitting my kids down and telling them this story because they wouldn't know me like this, yeah, or like that, and I was just reclaiming the power of that story by me sitting them down and telling them. And they were like, Mommy, okay, like, I can't believe that you went through that. And I'm like, yeah, but I just need you to know. I needed to tell you guys. And, I'm online now. And, I just didn't want anyone coming back saying anything to them that they would be like, oh, my mom never told me that. Like, what else did she not tell me? So I had to sit down with them, and it was an incredibly difficult, raw, vulnerable conversation that I had with them, but they took it on the chin. They're like amazeballs, and they were like, they couldn't believe it. Obviously they went, where does he live? What is that? And I was like, no, listen, it is what it is. It was a very difficult time for me, and I rebuilt myself from nothing with the clothes on my back, literally. And I think I manifested Mr. Traynor, Mr. T. You gotta do it twice.
Mr. T.
I call him Mr. T, Mr. and Mrs. T.
Oh, And if I ever meet him, that's all I'm going to say now is, oh, so you're Mr. T.
Yeah, Mr. T. You know, like all married couples, we'll have our ups and downs and our ins and outs and our challenges, our personal challenges as well. But you know, he's my greatest supporter with all this, and he helps me with all this. Like he'd be saying to me, "Anne, why aren't you doing this? Why like everyone else is doing it?" And I'm like, "Mark, you don't get it. It's energy." Or if I decide I don't want to work that week and I'm not taking in appointments, he's like, "What?" You know, because he's business, you know, that's the
Yeah.
logic, and I'm the reason kind of thing. But, you know, together we work well together, but it's taken so long to just get it right. Twins are 18 next month. Oh,
Oh,
God,
you won't
I've
know
done
yourself.
great. Yeah, I know, I know. And I'm looking at them going, oh my God, you did good. You did great. You know, they'll tell me they love me. I tell them I love them every day. It's just great. You know, they're
Yeah.
my pride and joy. They're my best friends. They're like, we've got it going on. We're doing really well together, you know, but it took a
Yeah.
lot to get there, you know?
Yeah. It's what you look back and you go, that's my greatest accomplishment. You know what I mean? I've
Yeah,
raised good children and be
yeah,
proud of them.
yeah, yeah. Come on, David.
And just
Yeah,
touch on what you just said there. I think it's important where you talked about you not wanting to work that weekend.
yeah,
And I think it's important because I think when you do this kind of work, we want always it seems to be always go, 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 go. We always want to help somebody. But at the same time, it's also important that we don't. So when you
yeah,
talk about not working the weekend, is that more of a conscious thing for you,
yeah.
or do you just take it as I've not got any clients this weekend, so it's fine? Or do you choose to go, right, actually this weekend I'm not booking anything in?
Yeah, no, I don't work weekends. I just teach at
Yeah.
weekends. Um, so yeah, just say a Monday to Friday, or if I've worked all weekend at teaching and I decide I don't want to take in it, it was too much for me. Like Reiki 1 takes a lot out of me for the students because I'm trying to get them there, you know, and it takes a lot of will from me to work with them. And energetically, I'm working with them before that weekend, and I don't think they realize it either. So it just takes a lot out of me. So no, I've zero guilt whatsoever. If I choose to stay in the bed and I get up and go, girls, or I might bring them to school with the PJs on in the car, and I'll come home and I'll just crawl back into bed. Now I'm a real
Yeah.
Capricorn, but I'll probably pick up a book and I'm still learning something, you know, because I love to
Yeah.
read. Yeah, but
Mm.
zero guilt whatsoever. Whereas younger me, you know, when the kids were small, it was all about, you know, looking great, having the house all clean, the step for wife kind of stuff, the dinners on the table at such a time. Like I was doing all that, and it was just crazy to try and live up to your daily expectations of how people want you to be.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, so I've just taken my foot off the gas. I'm definitely now with the mate D, and I'm just like, woo, fly me to the,
Hear you.
where am I going? Yeah.
My daughter turned 18 and my son 21. And I tell you, I've never been out partying with them as much as I have. I've never hit town as many times as I have. I messaged David on the weekend, I'm hungover.
But I think it's a testament to yourself that you have that relationship with them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they have they're in their fire, they're in that energetic space of awareness of ego, you know, and you know, they're vibing at that, and I'm kind of trying to vibe at a different vibe, but you know, we come together and we work it out. But yeah, I'm very proud of the relationship. I've you know, I put my hand on my heart and go, God, Anne, you're a great mom. You know,
Yeah.
we're all great parents. It's just being a good human.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's
yeah,
it. That's
it's just
it.
being a good human and just like expanding that out. That's what I'm working with, being a good human, you know, because you
Yeah.
think that you're not because you're in that constant state of no, you can't do this and they're just looking at you going, they'll just want to push it all the time. But now I'm just like, girls, just do you. Do be
Yeah.
happy, you know, be safe as much as, you know, we can't protect them all the time. You know, that I think that they've good, you know, good noggins on their head to know what's right from wrong. Because that's what I've always said to them. If it doesn't feel right, it's not. You need to get yourself out of there, get into a taxi, get here, get home, no problem. Don't get a taxi off the road. Always phone that we can have a trace to it. And they're like, yeah, ma'am, it's okay. So yeah, they're good girls. They're really good girls, and I'm very proud of that.
Oh, well
That's
done,
nice.
Anne.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. How do you maintain your self-care? Like, what do you do to look after you? Because a healer needs healing as well, because you're
Yes.
always healing somebody.
Yeah.
So how do you go about healing you, or just looking after you? Not really healing you, just doing your own self-care.
Yeah. Salt baths are a must. So if I'm teaching at the weekends, Mr. T will have the bath run with the salt all in it, and I might even have crystals in it. I'll have the incense going. And I would even say to the students, have a salt bath to get to the sea, get your feet in, disconnect from the energy that we've all been in, because it's quite heavy for a level 1. So salt baths with a face mask. Going like I'd wake up some mornings and go, I need to go around the trees. And Mark's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, seriously. So I'll go to St. Anne's Park and I'll just go for a little walk around the trees. And when no one's looking, I might walk up and get close and personal to a tree. But nobody has to be looking, except the squirrels. I'm like, oh, hi. But
Yeah.
yeah, so going for a walk in the park. And watching a movie, getting Netflix out of it.
Yes.
Seriously, just normal stuff, but very aware of being grounded and wearing those lead boots. That's important
Hmm.
because it can get too much that you're up here, and
Mm.
we need the lead boots. So I need to be
Yeah.
engaged with my role as a mom, as a wife, as a sister, as an aunt. Be engaged in those roles. That's all part of it, and as difficult as those roles can become at times, yeah, just being it and just smile through the craziness and go, yeah, yeah, no problem, no problem, yeah, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
salt baths is my my
Yeah.
go-to if I'm really struggling, or I go to the sea. The
Yeah.
sea is great. If I start feeling stuff physically with my body, I need to get into the sea. It's like getting into holy water, really is. Like, and I'll be ooh, ah, getting in, and my friends be in their swimsuit. I've got two great friends. I'll have to bring them into the conversation. But I'll be in, like a Navy SEAL with the gloves, the hat, the whole Navy, the shoes. And they're in their swimsuits, and I'm like going out to the sea. They're like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Ooh, ooh." The Irish Sea is pretty cold. Yeah, so I have my 50/50s, I like to call them. My two pals, Janice and Jenny, and I
Oh,
look.
bless them.
Yeah, they're like, when we hook up, we really appreciate each other. We all have that understanding about energy. It's not your normal conversation. This is when we get together, we have our breakfast, we get into the sea, we do the whole lot. We'd spend a few hours together, and it just makes all the work that I do worth it. And we have a judgmental space. There's a lot of love. They've seen me crying loads of time. We've seen each other crying. We've just like this, because there's no judgment. It's just like, just let it out. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like if you went to somebody with not having that awareness and you're like, oh, I'm having a bad day, and they're just gonna be like, what the fuck? Like they're just
Uh-huh.
not going to know what to do with you. And then probably you'll start questioning yourself after that, going, oh, what did I say? So it's great to have your 50/50s in life, that there's that fine balance with the friendship, with, with your spouse or whatever. There has to be that equality between you to find that balance. And if you don't have that with somebody else, they're not your people. They're not your people, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's all about
Yes.
your
Absolutely.
wellness there, I think. So I like a salt bath as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So absolutely, and a few
Yeah.
bubbles there as well.
Yeah.
So with the
Well,
word
you,
wellness, go
you,
on.
you pair have to come and visit me and jump in my salt pool.
There you go, David.
I'll be there tomorrow. So with the whole wellness world, Anne. So
Okay.
that word's thrown about quite a bit like
Oh
a
yeah.
buzzword, isn't it? Wellness. But
Yeah.
what does wellness mean to you beyond that?
So This was a
buzzword.
big thing when I was first starting Ann Traynor. I wanted spiritual center all along spiritual center, but because um I would have been judged, big time because I was making massive changes with my life and my lifestyle and the whole lot. And they'd be like, what the hell, Anna? Spirituality, what's she talking about? And it just felt culty at the time to me, to be honest. So, after a lot of deliberation, Mr. T and me, and we said, right, why don't we go for wellness? Because it's a wider umbrella. I definitely don't stand for wellness as in physically. I don't deprive my body of anything. If I want chocolate, I'm going to eat chocolate for days. That's no problem. I'm not going to be like, well, I own a wellness center that I can't be doing this. I'm going to eat what I want. It's mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. It's just you being happy with you. I'm not, in the gym doing it all the time and, you know, working out. No, if I get to the gym, I'm like, high five, well done, Anne, and that'll just be a spark of, I don't know, craziness. I used to love it years ago. I worked in a gym. I was a fitness instructor at one stage.
Wow.
Yeah, so it took over my life for a couple of years. I was doing the classes, the whole lot, teaching the classes, teaching the spins, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong, but it's a different timeline. I'm just happy with me, whereas it was work to do that. My physical aspect was important. That timeline in my life,
Yeah.
going out and wanting to look well and whatever. I'm just happy being a mom. I'm just happy being a
Yeah.
wife. I'm just happy,
You.
yeah, being the teacher that I am. I'm just happy with me. And that's wellness. For me, that's
Well,
wellness.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
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 And let's go back because we've kind of dropped it along the way. Tell us
Okay.
about the book you wrote. It's Hidden Forces. Explain to us what it's about. Like, can you let us let
Yeah.
us in on a few things?
Okay. So I have two books.
Two
And
books. Okay.
Two.
yeah, I have two books. Listen, I could have a book out in a week. I write all the time. So Hidden Forces is a go-to book. It's kind of like not the book that you pick up and you read from front to back. It's a book that you would pick up if you're struggling. And you then go to the contents, and I separate it into oh God, what do I separate it into? Like guardians of the earth signs, and you have to go into what earth sign you are, say, and you will have pages about your blueprint, as in who you are and what tarot cards associate to your life, what planets have an influence on your life. So it's kind of like bringing these little threads together for you to understand yourself a little bit more if you're stepping into spirituality. I wrote that book for level one, so they don't have to go to Google, they don't have to go anywhere. That's their go-to book, Hidden Forces. So it kind of takes you then, say, air signs, candle in the wind. So you go to that and you go to whatever sign you are. Are you an air sign? Are
I'm a
you an
I
air?
am.
Libran.
Yeah, both are, aren't we? Yeah, both of
We're
us.
Yeah.
we're both we're apart. We're just only a week apart, aren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, so birthday month.
yeah, birthday
Yeah.
month. Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday. So, like air signs, like this is a typical air sign thing to do, like, because wanting to talk to people, gathering people and or gathering information and all that. So then you get the book. I'll send you both a copy of the book. Then you get the book and you go to Candle in the Wind. So you go to Libran, you go to your sign and you read about your energetic blueprint and your tarot card associated. Like tarot card is like paint by numbers. It'll show you the energy of what it'll just show your energy of what's important to you, like justice is major arcana key there,
Yes.
Yeah.
that you will always
Yeah.
want to seek justice because it's
Yeah.
part of your belief
Yes.
do so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
little things like that. And then your ruling planet being Mercury and stuff. So when it goes into retrograde, the air signs in particular would be struggling with that. more so than the other signs. And it retrogrades in different signs as well, and different for the year it's all in air, for the next year it's in water, for it just changes, and it just affects them even more so that year. But air signs all the time with retro, or with Mercury retrograde. And then of course we have the water signs. I can't Oh, rivers that run deep is their chapter, and they find out about them. So just say the family dynamics, the husband, the wife, whatever, and you wanted to know about yourself, because we want to know about ourselves. You
Yeah.
become the CEO of your own life. So you read about you, and then you go to your spouse or your partner. And then you can read about them, and it's all the positive and negative qualities. So then you can learn to work with that energy. You'll have a little bit of a known on through an energetic lens of what's happening for them, or how they process or understand what is happening for them, because everything is energy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Everything is energy, you know? So that's what hidden sense or hidden forces is all about. And it's quite a dark cover. And then I have hidden senses, which is white light color. So it's kind of like from darkness into light.
Oh.
And then of course we like we spirit world, uh, it's all about the different clear senses, and how to separate them, how to work with them, and some exercises in them, some affirmations in them. Yeah, there's loads of books within me to share everything,
Oh.
but everything links back to you. As Hannah does say, all roads lead back to you, and she's right, because it is all you that has to
Yeah.
do it all. So you have
Yeah.
to show up. So just educating yourself. It's like those people that I started off, and they're all Reiki masters, and I was sitting there not knowing anything, and they were like, "Oh, I'm a Reiki master and I do this," and I was like, "Oh my God, good for you." But
Yeah.
they are great. They seem to have their shit together. You know, they did have their shit together. Well, they seemed to at the time, but I'm like, I wish I was like that. I wish I knew that. I wish I knew what they were talking about. And it's like the mediumship, it's like a different lingo that you have to attune yourself to in understanding yourself. Because my day-to-day lingo, um, like the normal chats with people, it's not the same lingo that I would have when a client comes in or a student, because
Yeah.
I go into the gravity of the depth of the moment with them, so
Yeah.
it's my voice seems to kind of get a little bit smoother, kind of like I'm present, I'm with them, and we're together in the gravity of the moment. So everything kind of shifts. It just
Yeah.
changes. It's like going from off to on, the
Yeah.
external stuff. Yeah. And you just learn to navigate your way through understanding when you're on and off,
Yeah.
How's
Every,
the
Wow.
how's the
That,
mediumship going, Anne?
yeah.
so
How
what?
is it?
How's the mediumship
Oh my
going?
God. Okay. So it's funny you should ask. I've done a lot of mediumship online. And of course, with Hannah, Hannah's great. She's been a great teacher. She's given me some great opportunities. And of course, I wouldn't know all these people, you guys even, if it wasn't for Hannah.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of respect for her, a lot of love for Hannah. So I've done all this, and I am just in the process having my web page all done. Oh, it's like ridiculous, like absolutely. But I have on an evidential mediumship, and I keep phoning him and saying to him, "No, take that down," or "No, take it down," don't put that up yet. And he's like, "Do you want it on or not?" He was getting annoyed with me, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And we're doing that, and we're doing it again today, as in just tweaking. Like I was looking at it yesterday, I spent hours at it yesterday, and I was like, for God's sake, and I'm like saying, take that out. He's overselling me in this, So I'm like, no, take that out, because I don't do that. Take that out. I don't do that. Take this out. And he's like, yeah, but you want to sell yourself. And I was like, no, I want to be real. I don't want you to go up and have these expectations of me. So it is something I'm doing new from next week, I suppose. I'm going to be invited
Oh.
in. Yeah, so officially, Like I'm really nervous about it, but it's for a very small price. And of course to get I want people in person. I want
Yeah.
to do it in person because there's only so much you can do online. And then we're all kind of reading for the same people all the time. And I'm like, oh, let's get some people in that I feel that I can assist. And it's coming
Yeah.
through to the Reiki, but they've come.
It does.
Yeah, and you feel you sense the energy, and I'm like, oh, but I'm not saying anything. It's just Reiki. So let's
Yeah.
separate that now, and it's time for me to separate it. And I was saying that I'm on the podcast this morning, and I was like, can we get it up and running? Because if they share the web page, I wanted to have it right. And he's just like, yeah, okay, like it's okay.
Now you want it.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of pressure in that because I wanted to be right after the interview. I just thought it was great time, and that's the thing with spirit. It's very organic. And then I go, oh my God, thank you for that, because I'm advertising my new webpage is just up and running, in the next few days. Well, it's live, but it's still I'm doing some tweaks with it. But he has all these wonderful words and words I don't understand. And I'm like, take them words down. No, I don't even know how to say that word. And he's like, no, it's good. And I'm like, no, don't do that.
So what's your webpage, Anne? What is it? Let
Yeah.
people know.
Ann Traynor Wellness Centre.ie, www.anntrainorwellnesscentre.ie.
Not
Um,
IE. Okay.
yeah. And so it's looking great. I'm very proud of it, really proud of it. It's just been me. It's been a big investment, but
Yeah.
yeah, my husband's like, for God's sake, I could have done that for you and I could have done this for you. And I'm like, no, I want to do it for myself. Yeah. I was like, no, I want to do it for me. Like, and it's literally just been me and the web designer being full on with it, and he's like, you need to do this. And I'm like, oh, I need Mr. T for that, because he's the IT guy as well. But yeah, it's been tough because I'm like a dinosaur when
Yeah.
it comes to
Me
like,
too.
oh, for God's sake, this technology, I would have 2 hours on the computer and I'm like brain dead gone. It's like the marketing on my page. I'm not into doing reels. I'm not into, it's just basic. I can't do proper posts, but I don't want it because my ego would love that. It's just like, yeah, so I don't want to get into all that sales and stuff. It's just
Mm,
not who I am. People will find me if they need to find me. A lot of my work is word of mouth at the moment with the Reiki and
Yeah.
with the workshops, and the students have been amazing that I've set for, and they're all doing the work, and I think it's amazing. But I'm doing it as well, you know.
absolutely. Yeah.
Well
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well done.
absolutely. Thank
And,
you.
and it's so hard to put yourself out there. David and I talk
Mm,
about it all the time. And
yeah.
it's like I said to David the other day, we've got an event and, I've got to put it up, I've got to post it. And I said, it almost feels like I'm whoring myself out, just like
Yeah,
constantly posting just so someone would see it. Because, if you don't post it enough, then people don't like your post, then you drop off the feed and you can't win against the algorithm. And then it's like,
yeah,
oh man, I can't be bothered with this bullshit. But again, word of mouth is great and it works for me,
yeah,
but it gets to a point where you've got to eventually step out and start doing more advertising, more putting
Yeah.
yourself out
yeah.
there.
No, yeah,
And
Unfortunately,
that's so hard. That's
it
so
yeah.
hard.
is.
So
We hate it.
So I'd have my
So
post first thing in the morning. So I've always, for years, since 2017, I have journaled every single day. Every single day, whether it's online or it's not online. I've journaled for sure. That's when I have my hat on, when the house was quiet before I woke up the kids. The kids are up and gone now. But it's my time. And I just kind of unpack what I could wake up with a song, I could wake up with an image. And I just I don't plan it. It's just,
yeah.
it's just there. And I put it out there. And, it's not about the likes, it's not about the comments. It's just here, listen, if you get something from it, you get something from it. But if
Yeah.
I'm trying to promote something, I would say to the students, do us a favor. If you get anything from my page, will you post that for me, please? I'll ask them, and that's my That's my I don't even know what the word is. That's how I put it out there.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, the once a day. I know people that go, oh, you have to put out 6, 7 posts a day and to stay
Who's
in
got
there.
time to do that?
Heck off. But you know what? Spirit Social. I love in Spirit Social because it's a platform for you to be seen, and
Mm,
you're surrounded by really good energy. And no matter what mood you're in, somebody's going, if you go in there and you're feeling a little bit of whatever post reaches you, it's going to reach you. And you're just going to be like, you're not
yeah.
scrolling to see what's good. It's all good, you know? And yeah, it's a great place to be for the developing medium, I suppose.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. And a
Yeah.
supportive environment. So
Yeah.
what's next for your wellness centre, Anne? Any new dreams or
Yeah.
offerings or expansions for the centre?
Well, the mediumship is massive for me, to be honest with you. And I like even talking about it, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it just makes me nervous, but that's good. I know that's good now.
Yes.
I've trainer tarot teaching coming up. I have, of course, I'm bringing Hannah over next month, a hosting thing, and I
Oh,
want to
yeah, I've
make
seen that
that
one.
yeah, I want to make that a thing. I think I'll get you over, David, at some stage. I want to host
I'm
people.
there.
Yeah, I want to host people. I want to, I'm good at that. I've always been good at getting people together. I used to do charity nights for my sister all the time. And then I was like, when I started my business, oh, I can do this for me now. Um, but I was good at organizing, talking about what needed to be done for her. Like I was like this spokeswoman. And then I was like, when I got into the Reiki, and I was like, oh, I'm going to start doing this now for me, and getting my people to find my tribe. Um, but I do the tarot. It's a bit of a mouthful. TTT tarot. Oh, fuck. Tarot trainer tarot, right? I do that.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Psychic development workshops, the Reiki, the three Reiki degrees, the 3 degrees,
Three
and
degree.
yeah, the 3 degrees, um, and that's it. And then of course the evidential mediumship, which I absolutely love because when you're in those spaces of loss and despair, because they're part of the human design, aren't they? You
Mhm.
know, I always found myself talking loudly to myself. It's weird, but I didn't know what I was actually doing because I would talk myself in and out of getting better, say.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was spirit all along. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. But I used to say to people, I think I'm going crazy. And they were like, why? And I'm like, well, I talk to myself all day.
Yeah,
And
I
they're
do that as well.
like, it's like, hello, all, Shirley Valentine. But it was spirit all along. So I
Yeah.
know that now because I have an understanding of it, and it just brought me great comfort, but it was still all me.
Yeah.
It just sounded like me, but it was a different tone to me than I was used to. It was like a small, still voice that kind of reached me at some point. And then, of course, the self-sabotage, the loud Anne, the younger and the old self, the loud, uh, that started to come down, and this lovely voice came up and in, and I was like, I was listening. I just started to listen. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all you have to do, isn't it? It's just being still enough and
Yeah.
hearing, be
Paying
still enough
attention.
to hear it. Yeah, paying attention to it. And
Yeah.
that's
It just being in the
it's
awareness. It's
so
exhausting though,
subtle.
isn't it?
It is,
Yeah, it
but it's
is.
just
Yeah.
so subtle, and people, I think, expect this big
Mm,
earth-moving thing to happen. Well, it's not. It's
No.
not. But I find healing just like that. People carry on with all the dramatics with healing. It's so subtle. It's
Yeah.
there's some
And when
that oh, you got
when
to
you're
do
in the
that
awareness.
that look. See, you did that look just like
Yeah.
Hannah's got that look that Hannah does.
She's rubbing off me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I'm not going to be sitting there going, but
mm,
I did. It was weird and wacky and woo-woo as it could get, but by myself, with myself behind closed doors. And
Yeah.
then eventually it's kind of, you start coming out of your shell, but you're still you, but you have an understanding, a reverence, a respect for something that's happened for you by yourself. Like all my work was by myself. I have a lovely space. I would sit in it. I would either read or just sit, and I would be in a bad state. And I'd be like, and you just come close and just to feel, work with the love of my dad, the love of my godmother, the love of my grandmother. These are the people that I want close to me when I'm feeling like that. No, no one externally, physically can do that for
No.
me. And they didn't.
Yes.
So it
Yeah.
was something that love, but it's still me because it's coming from my heart. But I would visualize that coming in, and then of course my heart would open up to that. And I'm like, isn't this just beautiful? Isn't it?
Yeah.
So to
It
just get
is.
people into that state that, I'm nobody special. Well, I'm only stepping into kind of finding my kind of wonderful for me. I'm only stepping
Yeah.
into that now.
And everyone's capable of doing that if you want to
Everyone,
do the work. If you want to do the
That's
work.
right.
everyone. But it's so much easier to stay in that bliss. You know, I did it for so long, being positive mindset. Like it was so detrimental to me. It was ridiculous. I was like, I can't be positive all the time. It was like I didn't give a shit. It was like,
Yeah.
but I actually did more so than ever before. So yeah, the bliss is the ignorance, basically. And just stepping into the awareness of, thoughts, feelings, and emotions of others and to allow them space. We don't know what's happened. No one knows what happened with me. So it's just kind of like allow them to evolve and grow and expand in whatever beautiful way that they want to. Just give those people
Exactly.
space.
I keep saying that, like, just meet people where they're at. And you know what? And sometimes we don't align anymore, and it's okay to move forward. I
Yeah,
always keep saying, I'm on that train, whether or not I get off at the next platform is up to me. And it's, like, if I meet you there, I'll meet you there. If not, I'm going to keep going with my journey. And that's
yeah. That's
okay.
Yeah.
That's a difficult acceptance though to have because then you think you've done something wrong or you're made feel like, well, you did this to me and whatever. And I was just like, they didn't have the depth to understand actually where
Mm.
I was coming from because I never told them, sat and told me sorry because they never asked. Nobody asked, It was me that asked the questions for myself. That stuff, that's what you're doing. You're going to that deep reflective state. That's vulnerability. I cried for years. I don't think I slept for about 3 years. Seriously, because I was so wound up with it. I was just like, oh my God, and I think I don't know whether it's a woman thing, because we're
Oh, it
vessels.
is. Davis says it all the time. We're in our heads too much.
Yeah,
Say that.
excuse me.
I can read your mind, David.
We're vessels. We hold on. We're the creators. We create everything. So just create it in a lovely way moving forward. We're here to manipulate the energy for sure. And I know manipulation can be taken as a bad thing or a good. It just depends what lens you're looking at that. So it's just manipulating the energy to something better and something
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah.
And that will expand into time and space around you.
Absolutely. I've always like I love that thing about David. He's always,
I love David.
yeah, I love David. He's
Yeah.
always positive and like when we talk about things like he's he he just tries to focus on the positive things and the good things and he separates himself from the toxic stuff and like that's so good. Like and that's what
That's a
it's
man thing,
about.
I think.
Yeah, and it's about finding, I think that's why we gel so well, David. Like we're just like two little peas in a pod,
Yeah.
finding our own little way, our little air sign over here and over there, and
But that's what
hence
connected,
why,
the air.
yeah,
That's what
eh,
connected is, air signs love an L chat, you know,
yeah,
and they love to gather information. So,
Yeah.
there's an alignment between the both of you, is that there's a similarity,
yeah.
familiarity.
Yeah.
It
Language.
is, and it's good to surround yourself with people like that, and people that you can just like you said, you're 50-50, I feel like shit. I'm having a bad day. I think I vomit that sometimes a lot to David, but
Now, one thing, Glenn, one thing, Glenn, that we don't align on is this next question you're going to ask about pizza. So
do you
some light-hearted questions now, Anne, as we come to start
do
wrapping it
you
up.
do you agree pineapple belongs on pizza?
No, are you kidding me? Are you
Thank you.
freaking kidding me? My husband, Mr. T, likes the pineapple on the pizza. And if it even touches a little bit of my side, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
like,
agree.
yeah, it belongs in, a drink.
In a cocktail, yeah.
Yeah, in a cocktail. That's
Yeah.
it. So no, sorry, Glenda.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
Glenn.
my daughter,
No, don't be
my
sorry. Don't be
daughter
sorry, Anne.
agrees.
Don't be sorry,
No.
Anne. Don't be sorry. It's
I'm sorry.
disgusting. It's disgusting behaviour.
Yes. Well,
Don't worry, there's not many that agree with David, but I'll give you that one. So the other one I had was,
go on.
what your aura today, right? Because we all change colors in our aura, and depending on how we're feeling today.
Yeah.
What if your aura was, I don't know what you call it over there, a sweetie or a lolly or we call them lollies, you call them sweeties?
Sweets, yeah.
Or sweets,
Candy, yeah. Yeah.
right? Candy, sweets, lollies. If your aura was a sweet, which would it taste like today? What would it be?
Oh my God. If it was a sweet,
Yeah.
something blueberry, because blue was on my, blue
Oh.
was, yeah,
Oh,
blue.
yeah.
I was thinking of communicating, talking and stuff like that. But, I don't like sour. I don't like sour
Okay.
at all. So like just like a mint. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really, no, not sweets, but chocolate. Yeah. I'll be a Twix bar. I'll be a
Chocolate.
Snickers.
Okay. So, and
Snickers.
so the Snickers, would that go good with, are you a tea, coffee, or margarita lady?
Tea. Cup of
Tea
cha.
lady.
Cup of
Yeah.
tea.
Tea. Tea. Yeah.
Tea,
Any
tea,
tea
tea.
loves her tea. Yeah.
Any tea
Yeah.
loves the tea.
Yeah. No coffee. I don't drink coffee.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't. It's just I'm
No,
good enough. I don't need it. Yeah.
no. And what's one thing that always makes you laugh, Anne, no matter what?
What makes me laugh? My
Yeah.
kids, my husband's very funny,
Mm.
just, and I sound terrible that I laugh at him. I laugh with him,
Yeah.
yeah, he's just a funny monkey. He's just funny. He doesn't try to be, and when I'm trying to be funny, I'm just not. It's just like, and you're just not funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Mark makes me laugh, and the kids make me laugh even harder. Of all the
Yeah.
little trials and tribulations and the drama of it all. I'm like, God love you. Yeah. So they make me smile. They make me laugh. They make me feel everything. That's good. That's all
Oh,
good.
you sound so much like me. Like, oh my gosh, we're so similar. Oh, I love it. I love it. Now,
Yeah.
Anne, for your final question.
Go for it.
Okay, so if today was
Okay.
your last day on earth, this was your last conversation, your final conversation, what legacy would you like most left behind?
Oh, to just live life to the fullest as if it's your last day. Now, here, listen, I'm not going out bungee jumping or whatever myself. I'm too responsible for all that. But I like the idea of doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just have fun. Just don't take life too seriously. I
Yes.
took it too seriously for years and years and years, and it did nothing for me. It did nothing for me. So I just like take it like a pinch of salt, a breeze, just and I think that the kids have that installed in them just to have fun,
Yeah.
try and make the most
Oh,
silver line and try and make the most
Mm.
of everything.
Yeah.
oh, thank you for your words of wisdom, for your chat today, for your
Oh,
time, for your energy.
I flew
We've
in.
we've really enjoyed it. Thank you for coming on,
Oh,
Anne.
yeah, it was lovely, wasn't it? I
Yeah.
was so nervous. I
See,
was
there's
No,
nothing to be
around,
nervous.
I was
it's
fiddling around with
great.
my staple, sticking it in my fingers. I was just like, oh, yeah, no, it's been great. I've absolutely loved it. We love David here in We love you too, Glenda.
Thanks.
Don't get me wrong, David's very popular around the women in the mediumship world. We all love David. We're always talking about David. Yeah.
Right. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. We're like stalkers, but he's just wonderful. We all have little chats about David that, it's all good, David.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
So even when I had you on the podcast, I was like, I get David to come on the podcast. And they're like, yay! What are you going to ask for? Like, I don't know.
I'll share my David around. It's okay, girls.
Yeah.
But you can haul me out. I don't mind as long as you're paying. That's all right. So, Anne, lastly, we've mentioned your website, but where else can people find you if they want to find you?
Well, Spirit Social, I'm starting to come out of my shell big time in there, which is fantastic. And Instagram, Facebook, but Facebook is there. And that's it, my webpage, I'm going to be putting a lot of content now, new content into my webpage. I'm kind of weaning myself off the Instagram, So I'm going to be pushing the webpage and all the workshops that are coming up. I don't do any workshops in December. So January will be all kicking off Reiki 1, Reiki 2, Tarot, Psychic Development. I just kind of, for the first couple of months, it's like go, 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 go. It's all marked off and penciled off. So just go to the website and see what's coming up. And I'd be delighted to have anybody just come in and just say hello and just connect.
Yeah.
Like-minded people. Absolutely.
Just let me know when you want to book David in. I'll send him over.
Yeah. I just have this vision for like all these mediums coming over. Seriously, like just this big event, I've been thinking of Bill as well. And it's just there. It's in my head, and Glenda, you can come over too,
Oh, I'd love to. I'm manifesting coming back over.
She's manifested. She's sat on her pillow with her legs crossed, humming and chanting, getting her way over
here. We gotta act. We've got to do,
yes.
To manifest. We got to do.
She will. She'll be known our Glenda. She'll do it. She'll be over here on a broomstick. Don't you worry. She'll get here some way.
I'll be booked in, David. We're going to see Anne. We're there for a week, so let's go. That's what the message will be.
Yeah.
And because all my family are in Dublin, they'll all come. They'll all come as well.
Yeah.
I can see them getting the coach across.
Brilliant. That's definitely on the thing. I want to create events and people that inspire me and that have inspired me along the way and on my journey. Like I bring them onto the podcast or I'll bring them over. Absolutely. Because people love that. We love all the mystics and wanting to know more and wanting to see what you're doing. And we're nosy like that.
Good. We will love it. Well, thank you very much, Anne, for your time today. It's been a pleasure.
It has been. It's been great. Thank you.
Really lovely. Yeah. And I think it's a reminder that healing doesn't have to be heavy. It can be a beautiful thing to do as well that can really help people. So, I hope that helps people listening who are going through that process of going through their own healing as well. To know you're not alone, people. You're not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone.
You're alone.
And that's our message.
Absolutely. And with that, thank you also to the listeners for joining us in the Spirit Lounge today. And we'll see you again in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us in the Spirit Lounge today. We hope you enjoyed the discussion.
Yes, and if there's a spiritual topic you'd like us to discuss, or if there's a spiritual question you'd like our input into, then please send those topics and questions to us at glenda-marie1@hotmail.com, and we will get to them as soon as possible.
Lastly, if you could like and share this podcast, as well as leaving us a comment or review about what you thought, then that would really help us out and we'd be very grateful.
We would indeed. But it's bye from me.
And it's bye from me.
Join us again soon in the Spirit Lounge.